Hi everyone, welcome to my open house presentation. I'm sorry that I don't get to see everyone in person. I always love open house and getting to see everyone and doing a big art project with families. However, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's to be more creative, and being more creative is something I can get behind. So I'm Mrs. Gouda. You may have known me as Miss Burrow last year, Miss B, but I did get married, so Mrs. Gouda is my new name. And if you're a remote learner, you're probably more familiar with my Bitmoji character this year. I have a really big, beautiful classroom, and I'm sad that we don't get to be in it this year. I've got my two turkeys, Romeo and Juliet. I've got my drying rack, so much cool supplies, and my Artist of the Week desk, and my cool free zone in the back. However, this is what my classroom looks like this year. I'm art on a card. So I'm actually going into classrooms this year. That doesn't mean we're not limiting our projects. We're actually doing all the same cool stuff we usually do in my big art room. We're going to be painting and sculpting and all that fun stuff. And don't worry, instead of Romeo and Juliet the turkeys, I have Batman and Picasso traveling with me, so I still have some partners in crime with me. And even though I am bringing supplies into the classrooms, everything is cleaned and sanitized, so don't worry, nothing's being shared between students. So we're doing a lot of cool projects. We're starting our first rotation with focus on drawing. So all of our projects so far have been with markers, colored pencils like that. And the kids have been doing a fantastic job. Our first project was to make a self-portrait of us with a mask on and us without a mask on. Then we did some different leaf designs, and we also made some haunted, spooky houses. For hybrid projects, we've been doing things like making a superhero version of ourselves and also making a Day of the Dead skull. If you're a remote learner, you should have a sketchbook by now, and in that sketchbook is where we're going to do all of our assignments. I did want to note a few things. Like I mentioned, we are doing rotations this year, so all the special areas are going into classrooms for 2 weeks at a time. So your student will have 2 weeks of art, and then they'll go to another special for 2 weeks until the next quarter. When we get to the second rotation, we are going to be focusing on painting, and I suggest that your student have a smock for those 2 weeks. I will remind your homeroom teacher to suggest that the students bring in their smock. I cannot provide the smocks this year just from being on an art and a cart, but if you don't have an extra shirt, please just tell your child not to wear the nicest thing that they own on art days, because we can get messy. I'm not going to keep really big portfolios this year. Instead, the kids are making smaller portfolios and will be taking their artwork home in a shorter duration. I won't be keeping it till the end of the year like I normally do. Also, I always look forward to the big end of the year art show. Just due to restrictions with everything, I don't foresee that happening, so I will plan on doing a digital art show like I did last spring. I am sanitizing all the supplies after one child uses it, so please don't worry about that. However, if you are concerned, your child's more than welcome to bring in their own markers, crayons, pencils, anything that you feel that you would be more comfortable with them using. Now I do have a digital presence, meaning each kid is part of a digital classroom that corresponds with their homeroom teacher. So if you go to their Google Classroom, it should look like something like this. In their Google Classroom, I put Artist of the Day, I put little updates about what we're doing in our rotations, and I have assignments due for them at home and some extra little activities if they get bored. I also have a blog. This blog is where I put examples of the projects that we're doing, so you can always check on here for pictures of what we're doing. Also, my email, lgouda@gesdk12.org. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I can't wait to make stuff with your kids this year. You have no idea how much I missed it last year, and we've already made some beautiful things this year. So thank you, and have a great rest of your open house experience.